Good afternoon and welcome to Race Matters. My name's Tony Chooks, and today we're going to be talking about white Jesus. I'd like you to look at this picture. It's not important who those black men are. I will tell you that those are men who were able to gain positions that they had not been able to gain before the Civil War. So during Reconstruction, the period between 1865 and 1877, the picture, those black men that I just showed you were able to become judges and senators and different positions that they had never been able to attain before the Civil War. But that picture I just showed you, what if I was a seventh grade teacher and I was teaching in a predominantly white school, and I told those kids that picture I just showed you, that those guys were the founding fathers of the United States? What would be wrong with that? We live in a colorblind society. Isn't that what we say? So color doesn't really matter, right? But how do you think those parents would react if they went home and told their parents that their black history teacher told them that 6 or 7 black men who were dressed very distinguishedly were the founding fathers of the United States? You see, we know the founding fathers of the United States were not black. We know that. And boy, we would notice that. This whole colorblind, we don't see color thing. Once again, let me tell you, those guys are the founding fathers of the United States, and you better believe color will become an issue. It would become an issue. People would say, wait a minute, what is this guy telling people? What kind of... Now, I literally could make a case and say, well, I'm not going to count the first from 1776 to 1865, since black people were slaves. I'm not going to really count that as part of America because the Constitution says otherwise. It says things like all men are created equal and that everybody has the opportunity to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of property, not happiness, property. And so, unfortunately, we were the property. We were the property. And so when I look at that, I think, I don't think that's going to work. That's not going to work. But when I look at that situation, it really bothers me when I think about Jesus, because unfortunately, color is also a factor with Jesus. I don't have a picture for you, but I'll just tell you, I've been on this kick for about 4 years, and I wrote a pretty extensive paper on it about 4 years ago. And when I went on Google to look for pictures of Jesus, I saw lots of pictures with Jesus that have blonde hair and blue eyes. I just did the same search today, and there was only one on there that had blonde hair and blue eyes. So they have cleaned that part of it up. Like, he doesn't look like he's Swedish now. But every single picture, there's not a doubt that Jesus does not look like he's from Africa. He looks like he's from any place but Africa. Let me just put it that way. Okay. He does not look in any way, shape, or form like he is from the continent of Africa. Why is that important? Well, here in America, we have this thing that was one of the founding pillars of this country, and it's called white supremacy. Now, you can get angry, you can get upset, you can get defensive, you can say whatever you want to say, but the facts are clear that this country was built on white supremacy. And if you don't believe me, go back and listen to the things that people like Jefferson Davis, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. Go back and listen to what they said. Go back and look at the quotes, how they talked about black people and how they looked at black people. Go back and listen to what they said. And it'll be very, very clear to you how this country was built. If you go back and look at the laws and you look at the things that were done to black people, very, very clear that we were never to share in the blessings of this nation. That's just clear. There's just not any way around it. That's why you have people right now that want to go back and stop that, and let's not teach that, and let's teach people that slaves were taught, or slaves were loved by their masters, and that they were given nice jobs, and they were treated well, and they were fed well, and they were put well clothed, and these great Christian white people brought them over here just to teach them Christianity. Stop it. Stop it. Come on, people. Come on. I mean, and if you do go out and teach that, kids are smart enough today, if they really want to figure out the truth, out. So I just think we got to stop telling that lie and tell the truth. But anyway, back to Jesus. When I look at those pictures of Jesus that I saw today, I still say, why? Why are we making somebody who was born in the middle of Africa, who walked around in a desert all day in 90-degree heat, why are we making him look like he's from Europe? What's the point? As people who are Christians, we want to look at Jesus as somebody who is an international figure, who poor people can look at and say, you know, I see something in that guy. But when you make him, first of all, just to make Jesus white, you have made him a minority. There are more black people than white people on this earth. There are more Asians than white people on this earth. There are more Indians than white people on this earth. White people are a racial minority. They are a racial minority. Just because they're the majority in the United States only makes up 4% of the population of the world. There are 330 million people in the United States. There are 7.8 billion people in the world. China has 4 times more people than we do. India has almost 4 times more people than we do. Africa has twice as many people as we do. So, guys, we got to understand something. We got to realize that the world doesn't revolve around us anymore. Even economically, the world no longer revolves around the United States. China is now an incredible economic power. We owe China money. They don't owe us money. We owe them money. We got to pay off debt to them. Their economy is booming. Our inflation rate is booming, but our economy is not. So, guys, I'm sure China has problems. I'm not saying they're a perfect place. No, neither is this place. But I'm just saying, this whole notion that the world revolves around us, we got to get out of that. That's over. That time period is over, and I don't think it's ever going to come back again. And so when we look at Jesus, we've got to look at reality here. And when I see a Jesus that has blonde hair and blue eyes, you know, this is what that makes me think. It says to the man of color, you're a mistake. You're not for public consumption. We can't have you represent Jesus. It says that the Bible is not true when Jesus escaped Egypt and lived there for some time without being discovered. It tells me that the Bible must be wrong when John tells us in Revelation that Jesus' hair was like lamb's wool and his skin was like bronze. You see, I know those things are true. But when you show me a picture of him and he doesn't look anything like somebody from Africa, I think, why? Why are we doing that? Why are we taking somebody that has so much relevance and that had such an incredible life and did so many incredible things to relate to so many people and stealing that away by making him a racial minority? Stealing that away by making him have blonde hair and blue eyes. Why? Why are we doing that? That white Jesus is not helping us. Anybody who's out there teaching that Jesus has blonde hair and blue eyes and has a picture like that should destroy it. If it's on your Bible, if it's on your, you should get rid of it. Yeah, I know it sounds sacrilegious, but come on, guys. What would you do with this if I told you these were the founding fathers? What would you do with it? Yeah, I don't think you'd want to hang on to it. I don't think you'd be too fired up about it if I told you those were the founding fathers. You know darn well those are not the founding fathers. You know that's not George Washington. You know that's not Thomas Jefferson. You know that's not James Madison. You know that. And so you'd be like, whoa, wait a minute. What is this guy saying? Well, that's what I say when I see these pictures of Jesus. I think it's time for us to say, come on, guys, stop it. If we say that, because some people are vehemently against it when you tell them that this country was built on white supremacy. Well, when you show me a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus, that's white supremacy. I don't know what else to tell you. That's how I view it. When you show me that picture. And then if you want to sit there and argue with me and tell me that's what he really looked like, I'm like, come on, man. I mean, you must not have been out in the sun very often. You're too used to an air-conditioned building. I mean, just common sense would tell you. And again, I could care less what Jesus looked like. That's not the point. I have lots of friends, blonde hair and blue eye. I think they're beautiful. I have women, my job, that have blonde hair and blue eyes. I think they're beautiful. I've seen children, blonde hair, blue eyes. I think they're beautiful. I just don't think that they are the standard of beauty. I think you can be beautiful and be Asian. I think you can be beautiful and be dark skinned. I think you can be beautiful and be and not be a size 2. So I just have a different standard of what beauty is. But I just think we have to look at this and we have to say, guys, we have created this fictitious view of Jesus, and it's not helping us. As we try to go around the world, you show people that and you say that's Jesus. Why would they be attracted to that? Why would they want to? If you go to China and you show them that picture, why would they be attracted to that? If you go to Nigeria and show them that picture, why would they be attracted to that? So, guys, again, it doesn't matter what Jesus looks like. Who cares? But it matters how we've tried to portray him. And I believe we did that as a way of control. I believe we did that because we wanted to say, boy, I mean, if you really did show a picture of Jesus and he had any type of darkness to him, how would that look in the face of slavery? How would that look in the face of how we treated the American Indian? How would that look in the face of how we treated the Japanese? How would that look? It wouldn't look very good. It wouldn't look very good. And so, guys, I just think we've got to make some changes. Let's be willing to look at ourselves and say, this doesn't represent Jesus. And it's not enough just to say, well, you know what? I'm just not going to show any picture. No, the damage has already been done. The damage has already been done. We have to undo it. We have to undo it. I would love to see some pictures of Jesus of what he probably looked like. I mean, the Bible even says the guy wasn't handsome, that he wasn't a very good looking guy. And yet every time I see him, he looks like a hippie James Bond. Like, what? What? We can't even follow the Bible when we make an image of him. And so let's try to get it right. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much for listening.